Welcome back to the Jesse Rucinski show. Don't know if you can hear that recording in progress thing, but you shouldn't be able to because, that would just be weird. But we told you so. Like we really, really, really told you so. We warned you. We told you it was going to happen for, the whole campaign and all kinds of things. But that really dumpster fire of an agreement that we had with Iran now has the sanctions, some sanctions lifted off of it so they can continue their nuclear program in an attempt to get us back into the nuclear deal that President Obama and then Vice President Biden got us into in 2015, right before they left office. I've always thought it was garbage. I always thought it was a dumpster fire. Anyone that actually knows anything, about anything knows it's a dumpster fire. It's not good for really anybody with any of the stuff that's coming out of Iran pays any attention to any of it. And really, it comes down to what, like all the people that voted for him, because everyone else were like, well, we told you so, we told you so, we told you so. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. No, it's not. We're just all crazy people. And yet here's another thing that happened that we all said was going to happen, that everyone told us we were crazy for saying was going to happen. And now indeed finally happened on Friday. It's not good for any of us involved in the world just because of who it is. And there's a lot of information that has come out from it, a lot of bad things that can happen because of it. And now there's really nothing we can do unless they try to go around, the Congress to get it done again, which I'm sure that they will try to get it done. It's a dumpster fire and garbage the whole entire time, as Iran is the top state sponsor of terror on the planet. And they have a lot of just disgusting things that they've said about, Israel and, well, even us. Death to America seems to be one of their favorite things to say, death to Israel. Yet here we are giving them, the power to be able to have nuclear warheads and weapons really soon, actually. The possibilities coming out of our own people's mouths. Again, not good at all. So let's get into all of it. Try to fill in some of the gaps if you weren't paying attention. I think it's ridiculous. Everyone should think it's ridiculous. But apparently the people that voted for him that said we were crazy, and they themselves think it's a good idea, even though they never actually, stayed and did anything that they were supposed to throughout the whole entire thing. But on Friday, President Biden restored a sanctions waiver to the Islamic Republic of Iran as they desperately try to get back into a nuclear deal with them. Again, the one from 2015, coming from Reuters, the waiver was rescinded by the Trump administration May of 2020, officially, they went into a full-on approach with it. And now without it, it allows countries like Russia, China, France, Germany, Britain, the US to carry out non-proliferation work at Iranian nuclear sites located at the Bushehr nuclear power station. Which was better, but there you go. At the Iraq, Iraq, who knows, heavy water power plant right there. And the Tehran research reactor, which is in there. It's a big old thing. Huge. Stacks, all of it right there, as you saw, to allow everyone to work on their non-proliferation, even though we all know non-proliferation with any deal we're in with any of these people really doesn't mean a thing. But the waiver was needed to allow for technical discussions that were key to the talks about return to the deal, formerly known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, or the JCPOA. State Department official who spoke on it said the concessions were not granted as a concession to Iran, the mayor quotes around that, but were issues as part of a policy discretion. which again, I think that they're all absolutely nuts, but yeah, that's a whole other story. More from the State Department. We are issuing the waiver now for a simple reason. It will enable some of our international partners to have more detailed technical discussions to enable cooperation that we view as being in our no proliferation interests. Like their leading state terror, state, terror state, really. I mean, they're the biggest terror state in the world. Let's just put it, never mind state sponsor of terror, like they're the biggest terror state on the planet. And just like, North Korea, we gave them lots of money, but they kept doing whatever they wanted. It's just, it never worked. But in the State Department, a letter to Congress that was obtained by the Associated Press stated the waiver with respects to these activities is designed to facilitate discussions that would help to close a deal on a mutual return to full implementation of the JCPOA and lay the groundwork for Iran's return to performance and its JCPOA commitments. Which again, I don't trust them any farther than I can throw them. And I don't want to go over there and try to throw anybody. So that's not happening. But as I digress, they're saying all of these things while also pretty much making all of our points for us that we've been saying, because U.S. officials have been saying they believe that a restored nuclear deal would still leave Iran with amassing enough nuclear fuel to make a nuclear weapon within months, which is not good, by the way, at all for anyone that pays attention to anything. But this is kind of like what they did in Afghanistan. If everyone remembers Afghanistan, I've talked about it at great lengths. It has pissed me off to no end at great lengths what they did though there. And they knew that when they did it, they knew that ISIS would have the capabilities within months to attack the U.S. homeland. And look how that went. Like they still went through with everything and did it anyway, even though that's very, like, you do this could be, they'll be ready within months to get us, just like now. If you do it, they'll have the capabilities and be ready within months. Which again, the things they say, that's not a good thing for anybody in the region. That's not good for us. That's not good for our allies. It's not good for a lot of people for Iran to have the capabilities to make nuclear weapons. Because just to put it blunt and to the point, I don't trust them. No one should trust them, and nothing good is probably going to come from trusting them, but yet they keep doing dumb stuff like this all the time, just like the way they did Afghanistan. Now ISIS carried out attacks within a few days. We did get their, one of their leaders, which that is a good thing to them. Kudos to them on the administration for accomplishing that. I'm not trying to take away anything that they did there. But they've been carrying out attacks, in Iraq and Syria. And like there's been problems all over since they started coming back about. And you're hearing their name more and more, which you didn't hear for years until the debacle in Afghanistan happened, which left Americans dead and all kinds of bad things, and innocent people dead across the board. We all know that. Anyone with a brain can, see that. And Senator Ted Cruz, we all know everyone loves him, stated on the Senate floor, as a result of President Biden's weakness and appeasement, this administration is ramping up to give a nuclear arsenal to the Ayatollah in Iran. In case you don't know, that's the Ayatollah in Iran. The very same Ayatollah who chants and tweets and all kinds of things, phrases like death to Israel and death to America. And, now the Biden administration is preparing to facilitate that Ayatollah having the weapons of mass murder to carry out these pledges. And, who actually thinks they're not going to do it? Like, that's a real deep conversation that people should have. Who has faith in the Ayatollah and them to get nuclear weapons, which, they're not supposed to be, having it all, but who doesn't think they're going to do it? Like, who actually trusts them enough to think that they're not going to carry out anything if they get the capabilities? Like, look at all the trouble that all those groups have caused, our allies like Israel. Now, that's a big ally. And look at all the stuff they did to them for years and years and years, and their people and everything. And yet, here we are, knowing that they could be well equipped and well on their way within months, still trying to go forward with it and get back into the deal, which again, we all said was going to happen. President Trump said it all the time, campaigning and stuff, that it was just going to, it was going to happen. Everyone said we were crazy and it wasn't going to happen. But I mean, they're the ones that made the deal, even though everything was still happening and popping off. And they knew what they were doing, terrorist groups and all of that. So, like, that's a lot of bad actors that could have a whole lot of power. If this all goes through and they do get a nuclear weapon, because again, they're crazy. Anyone that knows anything knows it, that it's not good for them to be able to have nuclear capabilities, power, whatever. But it's just not good for them to have the ability to do that, and all those terror groups and their terror cells and everything doing training there and all. Like, it's not good. It's not going to end well. Like, I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, or someone's going to say, fear mongering. I'm not. Like, anyone with a brain that has any insight and education on the whole thing knows it's going to end terribly. And we have people like Representative Michael T. McCall of Texas, who is also the highest ranking Republican on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, stated, "I am deeply concerned these waivers show the administration is preparing to cut a nuclear deal with Iran that would be worse than the original JCPOA. We already know that Iran will enter any new deal closer to amassing enough fuel for a nuclear weapon than it was under the JCPOA. And another bad deal is worse for our national security than no deal at all." And there's some stuff you can agree with, on that. And really, this deal, so they can keep working on things, especially with, some of the great actors that we mentioned there, like Russia and China. Because look what Russia's doing now. Look what China's doing now. And never mind the Olympics and all that. Like, look what they're doing to the Uyghurs in China, what they're doing to Taiwan, which, could pop off at any second for all we know. Look at all that stuff. Look how that's all, working out. Look what Russia's doing, with the whole Ukraine thing, which again could also pop off at any second. And none of us would be surprised if it happened. And if we do this, like, non-proliferation, like, I'm sorry, they're going to keep going for it until they get it, because they never stopped. And they stopped when someone had their foot on their throat. But just saying, here's the deal. Like, it didn't work the first time. It never worked with North Korea when we were given the money to stop doing their thing. Because notice, they were still doing things. They're still doing all the missile testing. They're doing all kinds of stuff. They never slowed down. These deals never actually work out when you do things like this. Never do, never had, never have, never probably will, because of the people that are running the things and involved. And, they don't listen to rules. They, don't really care. They're there for one thing, and that is power and to take out their enemies. And, shouldn't need me to tell anyone that. Like, we should all know that. Very clear if you just pay attention to anything, get off your soapbox. And I really do. I mean, like, getting into bed with them again, like, no matter what happens, technically we have some blood on our hands if anything bad does happen. And, again, it's just coming from experience and all these years paying attention to it. Like, I don't have faith in them to be good human beings. Don't have faith in them to not be bad actors. I don't have faith in any of that. You can call me whatever you want, but I've been around long enough, seen what they do. It's not good. And then here's reporting coming from the New York Post, is Iran's foreign minister, Hussein Amir Abdullahian, probably butchered that, but according, this is again, from him, according to the Iranian state media, that lifting these sanctions is not enough. There's some more air quotes to resurrect the 2015 Iran nuclear deal, and the lifting of some sanctions can in itself translate into good faith, but it's not enough. Sums it up good there. And then Iran's top security official, Ali Shamkhani, Iran's legal right to continue research and development and maintain its peaceful nuclear capabilities and achievements side by side with its security cannot be curbed by any agreement. Ergo, doesn't matter what the hell it says, they're going to keep doing it. They've always kept doing it. Nothing's ever stopped them. Now letting, I'm sure they're still working with, bad actors in the world trying to get the thing going, but, they said they wanted to do it right away. Like that was one of their big things. They've been saying they were going to do after we all said it was going to happen. Everyone said it wasn't going to happen. Like this isn't going to end well. We shouldn't be getting into bed with them. Just like again, I hate to keep bringing up North Korea, but all the deals we did with them, we gave them billions, to stop doing everything and all that. And they never really actually stopped. Again, look at all the new, the missile tests and everything they were doing. Like throughout all the years, like if they really stopped, they wouldn't be anywhere near where they are if they listened to any of the agreements and sanctions, like all the things. If any of that actually mattered, the words, then they'd be way farther back than they are right now. And having nuclear energy, clean nuclear energy, we have a lot of nuclear energy. Like that's one thing, but I don't like reports coming out from U.S. officials stating that the restored nuclear deal would still leave Iran with amassing enough nuclear fuel to make a nuclear weapon within months. Because again, they never stop. They're never going to stop. And it really doesn't matter what we do. And giving anyone that has their people and themselves on Twitter, which are still allowed on Twitter, which is just amazing, but tweeting out death to America and death to Israel, amongst other things. COVID-19 48, which is a direct shot at Israel. They're bound and determined to take them out just because of all their beliefs and religious beliefs and all that stuff. And yet here we are trying to make a deal with them. I don't like it. I think the whole thing stinks. I think the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action sucked. This didn't really actually do anything to slow them down. None of it ever does. Nothing slows them down. Nothing's going to slow them down. And they're really just hell-bent on destruction and all their beliefs, faith or whatever you want to call it. Like that's what they believe. And they would like nothing more than to have a nuclear weapon and wipe Israel clear off the planet. Like they don't care. No, don't. It's just to the point and clear that none of them ever care. And people didn't like the idea when they got into the first one. I really don't like getting into it now. Because they don't listen. None of them ever listen. And look at all the deals we've been in, again, between them, North Korea, stuff with Iraq, like everything, like doesn't end well. Like trusting, the Taliban to let people out when we were having all that stuff. And then look at all the reports we had of them not letting people out, like just making deals and agreements with bad actors. Like it never really ends up how you want it to. So, I mean, you could say that there's, I guess, an accomplishment if you get back into it, even if they, they try to go around Congress. I see a lot of people giving them a lot of hell for doing that because they don't have the right to do it as the president, the administration. There's things you have to do to get these things to happen. But I don't think that matters. And I think they're going to go and try to do it anyway. And then it's just going to turn into another giant headache and, waste of time. And there's real things we have to worry about in our own country instead of just dealing with more idiot deals and plans and agreements and all the stuff that never get us anywhere. Again, look back through all the stuff with North Korea throughout all the years. All the money, all the everything we gave them, and they never slowed down. Taliban wasn't letting everyone out. That many reports can't be found. They didn't change. They went through Bagram and, cleared out that prison with all those ISIS, people in it, which then carried out an attack right away on our people. We were there at the airport, which we should never have been at. We should have been at Bagram just because of logistically and security wise and everything, it was a lot better. And I'm just tired to see, like, it's just never, every couple months they're doing something like this, which actually does really put us in a worse situation. Can they do a nuclear attack? Like, can they get a missile here? No. Like, I mean, they shouldn't be able to. Can they get it somewhere else in the area? Yeah, they could probably like easily do that and wipe out our allies and anyone else that they don't like, whether it's religious things or anything. And no, I think it's ridiculous. I think it's stupid. I think it's a bad idea. I think it's a lot of things. And I just think it shows how out of touch with how the world actually works that all these people are. They just keep going for this stuff over and over again. Keep happening over and over again. Like, I mean, again, a lot of things, a lot of people had their hands in this. So I'm not just putting it on, President Biden and his administration. But we were dealing with North Korea through many presidents and all the stuff they just kept doing. We're dealing with, this deal through, the last little bit of Obama and Biden administration. And, and President Trump and his administration dealt with it. Now President Biden and his administration is dealing with it and trying to put the deal back together. And none of it ever gets anywhere. So I just think it's a really bad idea. And I think the whole thing stinks. You can tell from the tone of my voice after I was done reading all the quotes and all the idiocy. I just think the whole thing is, bad. And the intelligence and the reports that we're getting from U.S. officials and all that agree that, it's bad regardless. So I just don't understand why they keep doing things. I guess just because they said they were going to do it. But I mean, do you really have to do everything? Like when they're bad things, you don't have to do what you say you're going to do. Like, just going to lead to bad things. And it makes us look even weaker and more ridiculous because we're putting all this power into really bad people's hands, which is then again going to further tensions with Israel, who's one of our very few allies in the region, like allies, because of the power this gives Iran over them if they do, make a weapon. Like he was going to get us all of our, relationships. He's going to, build them back up from all the damage, President Trump and his people allegedly did. But this could have like whole worldly effects, and I just don't like it. No one should like it. All of his people that voted for him, you should look and see, like, it's, the history of it all before you go and jump on and say it's a good idea, and see, what it's all been about and like. Because I think if you are one of his supporters and then you do it, I think it'll open up, some eyes, just like you look into the North Korea thing. Like it never really stopped them from doing anything. This is just going to be another one. Going to help them out. We're going to do this, and it's going to get them closer to their mission. And that mission isn't good for anyone. So we'll see where it goes. I'm just not very happy about it. Buddy Chuck, I call him Walter, he found out about it just yesterday because he was so busy between all the stuff, work, kids, all of that. He didn't find out until then, or Sunday. I don't remember which it was. And he sent me a text and he was all pissed off because he didn't find out until then because he was so busy. Like, dude, I found out. Like, and he was pissed. Just, we all know how this is going to go. Most people do. So, again, we all want to be wrong, but I have zero faith in the Ayatollah of Iran being a decent human being. And gets his capability, not doing anything damaging and damning and stupid with it. But again, we'll see, and we'll hope for the best. But these people are involved. I just expect just the worst and everything to completely suck because, well, 9.9 times out of 10 it does. So we'll see. But that, I'm going to jump off. I want to say thank you to all the listeners, all the watchers, all the new listeners. I want to remind everyone again, please keep sharing out the audio files and whatever you're doing. Keep sharing the links whenever you see them. go to the page if you're listening to it on social media and share those out too. Get more eyes and ears on it, tell people about it because it's growing. Again, it's slow, not as good as that one where we set the record, but we're staying steady. So like if we just keep improving those, numbers as we go, that works out better and we can have more discussions and more everything. Really, I mean, anyone can come on here and talk too. Like, it just opens the door for so much more. And all you people that do share it out and watch and listen, I greatly appreciate you. Let's keep it going. Keep the thing going. I think it's a good thing. A lot of good information to put out there. I think I do a decent job. And it's informative. And it just has to be done. So thank you for the support. Thank you for the continued support. And please share everything out. Enjoy the rest of your day. As good as you can, depending on your work schedule, weather, all that stuff, because the weather's been bipolar lately. Really bipolar. That's not picking on bipolar people. That's just, weather's going from yay to really bad, really fast. So I appreciate y'all. Thanks for checking me out. Remember to keep sharing it. Enjoy the rest of your day. I will be back on Friday. So share it out. Enjoy your time. Be good to each other. Keep an eye out for all this stuff. And I'll see you on Friday. And until then, my friends, peace.